Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
I'm Ben, yeah?
And welcome to FilmBusters.
FilmBusters. Oh,
wow, lovely.
Crass and disgusting intro.
FilmBusters.
Hello, guys. We're here for our second episode of the year.
It's only a second.
I'm very happy it's our second episode of the year. It does feel like we did more, but it's because we did one before the year turned.
Yeah, no, and then
Yes.
we've done a little gap because Ben had a little sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep.
He does like a little sleep.
Yeah, he's getting old. He needs little naps. He naps for about 2 weeks, and then in January.
Rip Van Winkle, the January man, isn't it?
She's like a big bear.
Yes. I like to sleep. Is that a running joke? I sleep less than either of you.
Right, should we go straight into our lovely quiz?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So,
schools are even.
no, the scores are actually 1 for you and 0 for me.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Losing.
Yes, because we've started this quiz again for the new year. I'm the host again because I won it, obviously. If no one
The
knew.
host with the most.
Yeah, so anyone who doesn't know what this is, we basically do a quiz every episode. I ask Adam and Ben a question, 2 questions to be exact, and if they get it wrong, I get a point. If they get it right, they get a point.
And currently Paul's on 0, so me and Adam are doing very well over here.
Yes, 2 points to win here. Are you ready? Here we go. What is the name of the fictional burger shop in Pulp Fiction?
Big Kahuna Burgers.
Oh, well done, Adam.
That's
so
what I
quick.
was saying, but I want to put
was
Bob in
so-
there for some reason.
So quick.
Bob say-
Bodybuilders, Bakuna Burgers.
Because there's that fucking cartoon called Big Bob's Burgers or something, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If that cartoon
Well
never
done,
came out, I
Adam.
would have got the point.
Well done.
You didn't. You stuttered like a bitch.
I did. I really
I'm so
did.
happy. You can hear it in his voice. He's so happy with himself.
I know. This is the first time Adam's been winning for about 9 months.
So that's 1 to Ben, 2 to Adam, and 0 to me. Should we go to the next question?
Yeah. Come on. This is my turn.
Here we go. During his police interview in Scarface, Tony said he was sick of eating what animal?
Octopus.
Oh, well done, Ben. You got it.
Yeah, you were not going to
me.
stump me
Well
on the
done.
old Scarface question.
I know.
No,
I
I
thought you would have got that one.
Paul, are you very pissed off?
No, I'm happy. Oh, we need there to be a new host next year.
Oh, right. So you just want to lose.
Yeah.
Adam. Those questions
Well
were
done,
made for
guys.
us. 1 for Pulp Fiction for Adam and 1 Scarface for Ben.
I would have got them both right if Ben wasn't so interrupted.
You would never have said octopus.
No. I was going to say calamari, saying that. But that's not really an animal.
Do you know I eat calamari every day, man?
Do you know what he actually says about octopus?
Yeah,
He
he
likes the
eats
tentacles.
octopus 3 or 4 times a day. He eats so much octopus, he's got it coming out of his fucking ears, man.
Well done.
Well done, Ben.
Yeah,
You don't get extra points for being a show off.
I should.
No, you're not getting that. We're going to deduct one because you're such a sadist. Should we go to the main event?
Let's go to the main event.
The main event. Here is our feature topic, plus Adam might do a rubbish plot summary.
Are you fucking serious?
So, guys, we are talking about Glass today, the sequel to Unbreakable and Split. It's a very exciting time. We've been waiting for this for a while now. Been excited about it. And so let's just go straight into it. Before we get to the plot, which Adam is going to beautifully describe, should we just get
Thank
a bit
you.
of the technicality of the film? Maybe just talk about M. Night for a sec.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
I used to really like him, but I think he's making a re-emergence. But he went through a phase where he's just bringing out so much shit.
Paul showed his cards there by saying that he thinks he's going for a re-emergence. Because before Glass, he definitely hadn't done anything significant or good.
I'm talking about Split.
Ooh.
Oh, right,
Split,
okay.
I think Split, like he's brought himself back up again with Split.
M. Night Shyamalan was very good with... That's his name. Why are you laughing at his name?
You said I'm like Shamlong or something like that.
I didn't. You heard that because you
Shyamalan.
had stuff in your
Yeah, he
ears.
said Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan, right, made 3
Okay.
good films.
Tell us.
Ooh.
Sixth Sense.
Unbreakables.
Unbreakable.
Split.
One of them I won't really agree with, but I like the twist.
All right. And The Village. The Village,
Yeah, The Village.
I personally would probably say that and Unbreakable. It's hard to decide between, but I think actually The Village is probably one of my favourite out of them all, because that was very well done. After that, I would not say he made any good film until Split. He went on such a decline.
Lady in the Water, man. Did you watch that?
Awful. What the fuck was
so
that?
bad. I don't even know what's going on.
Oh,
I haven't seen that many of his films saying that.
oh,
I haven't
well,
seen
don't watch that
Signs.
one. See,
It is terrible.
Signs was like weird. It was like, yeah, okay, it's fine, but it was like there was nothing to it, man.
Yeah, it was just fine. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
And then,
Mel Gibson did a good performance.
The happening.
Happening was shocking beyond belief.
God, man, it's like like the end of that film. You're just like, really?
Oh yes,
That's it. It just stopped.
I know.
That was the end.
It was horrible.
That
It was
so
it was
strange.
such a horrible watch. And then he
Yeah.
did shit that I just never even saw, like that Will Smith, Jaden Smith one, Last Earth or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah, I never saw that either.
He tried to go mainstream.
But I mean, he always was mainstream. Sixth Sense is a mainstream film, man. But like, it just worked well.
Okay, so let's just discuss the two previous films quickly.
Yeah.
Just before we get on to Glass. So
Unbreakable.
exactly, Adam's doing a little intro for it. It's very nice.
You're unbreakable.
That's a shit intro.
Well, what's your intro then?
There isn't
You
one.
haven't got one.
My intro is let's discuss Unbreakable, please.
You're
Yes.
unbreakable. Dun,
Oh.
dun.
He's so annoying, isn't he?
He's the worst. Put him down.
Unbreakable for me was a beautiful film, and I always watched
Yes.
it growing up. Watched it multiple times. I would say, honestly, I give that film 10 out of 10.
It's high praise.
High praise. High praise.
I really enjoyed it, and I don't know whether I'm not sure whether it would hold up if it came out now.
It doesn't need to all the time. Don't always need to.
Yeah, Shyamalan beat Marvel to it at the end of the day, so he brought an original concept out, and I loved it back then, and I love it today.
I also feel very strongly about it. It was very well done. It's 9 out of 10 for me.
See, I only gave it a 7, and I only watched it last week for the first time.
Well, see, maybe it doesn't stand up then.
That's what you're saying about Paul saying it doesn't stand up. The only thing I felt is it was interesting, but they didn't do enough with the characters, so it felt a bit boring. And also the whole relationship thing felt a bit boring. But I'll take a point that I think Glass raised that rating of Unbreakable. I feel like...
What, you would have given it
we'll
lower
talk
than a
about it.
7 before watching Glass?
No, I gave it a 7 watching Unbreakable, but now watching Glass, I feel like it is deserving of more.
Right.
Because we'll talk about it
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
talk about the
yeah.
film.
Okay.
But
I think that it's probably because you kind of knew what happened to Samuel L. Jackson's character because...
I didn't.
You didn't? Even with all the marketing
No,
of Glass?
I haven't. This is one of the first films in a long time where I haven't watched a trailer for it. I've only seen a poster.
Oh, what, for Glass?
Yeah, I haven't seen a trailer for it. I was like, I've got so long down the process without seeing a trailer. I knew I was going to go see it, so I
Oh,
thought,
well done.
what's the point? Let's just
It's
go
true,
in.
yeah, it's very true. I only watched the one trailer, and once.
One thing just quickly about Unbreakable, I think the way Adam feels about it, it probably didn't have the same kind of effect on him because of all the Marvel films nowadays, because they're all kind of based in this modern day world where it's basing these heroes in reality, so they're dealing with it in like kind of a normal way that any human being would.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same they're doing in with Bruce Willis, but that was new back then.
I don't think it was unoriginal. I just felt that the development of the characters wasn't that great, and they spent a lot of time focused on the relationship and not really developing the characters that much.
What do you mean by
They kind of-
developing the characters? What would you have liked
Well, they
to
kind
have
of
seen?
gave you the one blank. They told you what they did basically. Then they went on like a 40-minute ramble of shit. I felt like talk about his relationship. He lifted some dumbbells, and in the last 10 minutes, bam! It picked up. It like shot up. And until then, that bit before then was a bit boring. Didn't really go anywhere. That film could have been done in 40 minutes.
This is going to be a very interesting podcast because
Let's watch.
Glass
We just
is
go
going
on
to
to
have
the
very
film and then we
different
can
reviews.
discuss properly.
It's all right. You're so calm down, boy. We're getting there.
It
very,
feels like
very
we're batting
quickly.
around the bush. Why don't we just open up and start going? And it all
People
flows
like
into
to have a
one?
little context and colour.
Yes.
Well, you know what's
Why are
happening.
you rushing so much? What about if people ain't seen it?
Well, then they shouldn't be listening to the podcast.
That's
then,
true.
should they?
That's true.
Because it's going to spoil everything.
Quickly talk about Split. Split. There's not much to say about it because it wasn't half as good as Unbreakable, but it
Very
was
true.
good.
I enjoyed it.
The only
thought it
reason I
was
care
okay.
for it is because it's connected to Unbreakable. I'll tell you that much. If it had finished without that, I wouldn't have cared for it that much.
100%
You'd have forgotten
agree.
about it.
100% agree.
Yes.
Okay.
But McAvoy's performance was very good.
Yeah,
That's-
very
That's
wonderful.
his saving
yeah.
grace.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. But it was lifted by seeing Bruce Willis at the end going, I tell you, I can't remember what he says. They watched the news article on the TV and Bruce Willis says,
His name's Mr. Glass.
his name is... Why? Why does someone say, whose name? What's his name?
He
Why
said
would
they
someone
said
say that?
this is like that guy who's in a wheelchair who went from prison. A while back.
Ah, yes. No, oh, God, that gives me almost like tingles just hearing that
Quick
again
question
now.
then. I forgot about that bit at the end of Split. So why in Unbreakable, no, in Glass, sorry, when they meet for the first time,
they don't
does
meet.
he not?
They don't meet.
Well, he walks down the street. And he cracks him.
Yeah, but he
How
doesn't
does
meet
not
him at the end of
realise-
Split. He doesn't
I
meet
thought
him
he
at
was
the
in
end
the
of Split.
bar with him.
No,
Oh, he doesn't know, okay.
it's just a
That
random
explains it.
person in the bar with Bruce Willis.
Okay.
We'll cut a bit out because you're embarrassing, Adam.
Yeah, no, I thought it was with him.
Leave
we
it
just
in for
move on to the
exactly that
actual
reason. All right, Adam. My God, Adam, will you bring us up to speed and tell us about Glass?
So, seeing as we got to this point, let's say spoilers from now on. And if you haven't seen the film, turn it off now. But if you want to know about the film, carry on listening. Adam, would you like to explain the plot of Glass?
Well, we'll just listen to the last 5 minutes of this podcast because we basically explained it. There's 2 films previously. One called Unbreakable, which is about Mr. Bruce Willis, who has an unbreakable body. He never gets ill. He never gets injured. He has super strength. The only thing that can stop him is water. And then in the next film, and he meets this guy called Mr. Glass, who is complete opposite. He steps out of line, twists his ankle, and his old leg will break. And whatever, and he's always in a wheelchair, but he's a genius, and he comes up with all these schemes to try and find this unbreakable person, which we can discuss a bit more because it links into this film. And there's Split, which is James McAvoy, who has, is it 17 different personalities?
23.
Something like that. He has lots of personalities that are all completely different from each other, and he kidnaps some girls, and then they all come together in this film, and there's like a big superhero battle.
We'll see about that. Yeah.
And now
I've
we're
got a
going to
point on
discuss.
Didn't actually explain the plot of this film.
No.
We're going to discuss the film and explain it.
We could discuss the film with the plane it. What are you, Timmy? Timmy from South Park.
All the characters come together and they have a nice cuddle in a prison.
Right.
Do they?
So anyone who knows anything about Glass knows what it's actually about. So discount that idiot's review.
Well, if you had been fucking taken all the glory and talk about all this shit beforehand and we discussed it in the actual podcast, it'd have been a lot easier to do.
Oh, right. I'm going to smack this little cunt. Now, if we can just kindly get on to all of this stuff. You are an absolute cunt on today's podcast, I must say. More so than any other one.
I'm making up for last time when I had a sleep in it.
Yeah, you are, for fuck's sake.
He's got to be a hyper little shit.
I gave my score 8 out of 10. Purely because I enjoyed this film and I thought it brought everything together nicely and finished it up. Whereas Unbreakable, which I just discussed at the end of the last one, I felt was a bit meh. But this film does that film justice and makes that film better and worthwhile watching because you get your payoff in this film, I feel.
That's very interesting. I give it a 9 out of 10. You might have already seen it because I put it out on Twitter. I thought it was like almost close to perfection. It surpassed what I was expecting because I didn't think Shyamalan had it in him to really follow up and do it well. But he obviously has a lot of love for the characters, a lot of love for the story, and he didn't compromise on his integrity and do what some studios might have wanted him to do with this final installment. So I loved it.
Lovely. And me,
Paul?
I was very much looking forward to this film, and I was very disappointed.
Oi, now we got a conversation on our
6
hands.
out of 10.
What's the
You hear that?
score?
6 out of 10.
6?
Yes.
Oh, mate. Now.
It's down there with Tomb Raider.
Now we're going to have a conversation.
Yes.
That's foolish.
I thought
Oh,
it was
oh no.
very, very boring in parts and almost nonsensical in most parts, and I was just very disappointed. I was so looking forward to it.
All right, so this is the Ben and Adam Gang Up on Paul show. This is the Black Panther of 2019. Yeah.
Can I say one criticism of the film, which I felt let it down quite a lot, is how subdued Bruce Willis's character was.
Okay, all right, listen,
And
I
how
will
almost
agree with
wasted
that.
his character was. He could have done so much more with him. It was all about James McAvoy, and I felt that they only did that because they can make James McAvoy funny, because he had all these characters and they relied on that kid character too much in the film.
I agree with what you just said 100%. There's an over-reliance on James McAvoy and the kids.
And it was almost like, oh, look at this. This is a really good acting performance because he's doing all these personalities, but that's it.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. I didn't mind James McAvoy being in it as much as he was, as long as it wasn't always Hedwig, that kid character, because he gets particularly annoying, and they rely on
But
it
they
too
should have
much.
developed the other characters. Bruce Willis
Patricia.
is very interesting.
Yeah, but the go on, Paul. What's your comment on that?
I'm just saying that I thought James McAvoy was one of the best parts of it.
He was one of the
did
best parts, but
brilliant.
it was overused.
Yeah, brilliant. He's very clever to be switching between all those different and creating the characters out of he must have created the characters himself, because he's created all these accents and their own personalities, and I thought that was good. It was brilliant.
I think I would have liked his performance more if Hedwig wasn't one of them, because, like, you know, Dennis, the sober guy, like, who's almost like a doorman. I really like him.
Yeah.
I like the Patricia character. I like that guy who's like, I'm a lecturer on Japanese cinema or whatever it was.
There were so many more interesting ones he had.
Yeah.
But they rely on Hedwig
I
because
know.
it makes it funny.
Yeah, they were dropping a lot of jokes coming from Hedwig.
But to go back to your point about Bruce Willis, I kind of know what you mean, but with hindsight, that's his character. He's
It's true,
he's not he never wanted to be a superhero. He was just a guy, right? Who
Well,
suddenly
how come he
discovered.
went around being a superhero?
Yeah, but
then?
listen,
he could have easily hidden away.
Yeah, but he wants to do the right thing. So because he's a superhero and doing the right thing, he's not Bruce Wayne. He's not got fortunes. He's a normal guy, right? He's a normal guy who really discovers he has this power. So he's not going to be brash and in your face. Like Samuel L. Jackson's character isn't brash and in your face, but he's an evil mastermind. So he has the characteristics.
Yeah, but it
and
always
traits.
felt like something was going on with Samuel L. Jackson's character, whereas Bruce Willis was just there until the end. Nothing was happening with him. Very got a little bit of screen time. It was very disproportionate, and you almost forgot he was in the film at points.
I would like to have seen a little more Willis and a little less McAvoy. That is true.
Not a lot.
I understand
because
why.
That's where the film's going.
But do you not think that Willis really pales in comparison to James McAvoy's performance? It's not because Bruce Willis didn't have a bit to play with there. It's because next to McAvoy, you either have to be loud and brash or you disappear off the page.
That's just how Bruce Willis' character was. He was always subdued because he was
Exactly.
an unhappy man in Unbreakable.
It
He
was-
didn't even crack a smile.
Yeah.
But it was almost like, not even subdued, it was wasted. His character was almost irrelevant until the very end.
I disagree. I think what's so important. Well, one of the reasons I like this, and you know my history with superhero films. One of the reasons I like this is it's not just like Unbreakable wasn't. It is not the typical superhero film. It's very fucking grounded in reality. It's almost put it this way: when Sarah Paulson is sitting down with them all and she's telling them all it's a delusion, it got to a point in the film where I thought, is it? Is that what this
that's what I
film's
thought.
going to
It was
reveal?
quite well.
That actually none of this, if they aren't superheroes.
That plot point is what I hoped was going to be the outcome of the whole film. I wish they didn't like actually have powers. If they made it into all into like nutcases, all thinking they're superheroes, that would have been absolutely fantastic.
No, I wouldn't have liked that.
I was even thinking, oh, this is quite good. Maybe it is all in their heads. Maybe they're all making it up, and it all made sense, like how Sarah Paulson was explaining it. But then, it just kind of fizzled out.
I don't think it fizzled out, man. I think that the payoff on the back of that was great because it plants the seed of doubt in your mind in the same way that it plants the seed of doubt in Bruce Willis's mind, for sure. The other two are convinced of what they are. Bruce Willis, you see that flash of doubt in his mind, reminding you that he's just a normal guy. So when you get the great... We'll talk about the ending in a bit, but I liked how it was paid off.
What, the shit pothole?
Right, Adam, did you give this film an 8 or a 4? Do you want to just...
Oh, no, I'm just talking about the bad
You make
things.
no
I enjoyed
sense
it.
with your score systems.
I've enjoyed
you give
it,
it
but
an
there
8
was-
and all you're doing is slamming it.
I'm not slamming it. I was just talking about negative
Paul's
parts of the film
praising
at
it
the
more than
moment.
you are.
Well, I'm talking about negative parts of the film, so that's why it sounds
Tell
bad.
us
We'll
another
get to
negative.
positive
Tell us
side.
another negative, you little negative fuck.
I don't know, actually. Sarah
Yeah.
Paulson was a bit boring, something like a bit very wooden character.
She fulfilled the plot point she needed to do. We didn't
Yeah,
need
that was it.
anything more fleshed out on
I
her.
felt she could have maybe done a bit more. Like, you got an actress like her in a film, and you kind of gave her that. To be fair, but yeah, what a shit way to go out that pothole. And they made it quite obvious because they fucking brought a lot of attention to the pothole.
Can we not talk about the
What is the plot hole we're talking about?
Just ignore it. We'll get to that when we
Not
get to the ending.
pothole. Like
Yeah.
you drive your car into.
Oh, pothole.
Yeah, he wants to jump straight to the ending immediately.
I know.
He's so impatient.
Okay, should we go for why Paul hated it so much?
Yeah, let's.
I just felt that the whole storyline of this film didn't really make sense. Like, so Samuel Jackson, right? He's a genius who's been hiding these pills, so he's staying sane this whole time. Correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or staying not sedated.
Yes. So he's been sitting in a cell for 20 years. Correct?
Yep.
I don't know that he's been in that cell for 20 years.
He's been in jail for 20 years.
I missed them saying that. I don't remember them saying that.
Well, that's how long's passed since the film came out.
Right.
Since Unbreakable
But I don't
came
know
out,
that
right?
he'd been in jail for all that time.
Yeah. So what is his plan? And why is he suddenly decided now that he's going to try and get out and try and
Because he
make
needed the
superheroes
right
real
person.
again?
Yeah, he needed the right opportunity. It's not
So-
that he
oh,
had
he's
that plan
really-
until this came along.
He's really clever sitting there for 20 years, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but what can he...
he-
Because he is... Look, the thing is, mate, he's a villain. He's a bad guy of the piece, but he isn't superhuman. He's vulnerable. If he's locked up, he's locked up. That's it. He ain't got a plan. He can't play with a plan unless the pieces fall into place. And this film, the pieces fall into place.
Okay.
Would you have
So-
preferred it if this was a year after Unbreakable and he'd only been in jail for a year?
Well, I just feel they could have explained it a bit better.
No need.
It's pretty obvious.
Then we have this master plan of this secret group that has never been spoken about or never even foreshadowed in a film, and their plan is to collect these three superhero people, right?
Yeah.
And try to convince them they're not superheroes.
Yeah.
Correct? Yes.
Yep.
And then what are they gonna do?
What do you mean, then what are they going to do?
What are they gonna do? They're not testing whether they're superheroes. They're just trying to convince them they're not superheroes.
Yeah.
Right? Why don't
Yeah.
they just go up to Bruce Willis, give him a little cut? Oh, he is superhero. He actually can't get hurt. Let's just kill him straight away. Not put him through this whole thing where he's saying, "I've got 3 days to make you believe you're not a superhero." Right? Why are they putting him through that?
You could have that argument with every single superhero
Yeah.
film.
No.
There are so many superhero films that could easily be avoidable, but they make them into a film. I thought you have all people with these superhero films would just
No.
do that. You understand.
because
It's like, why doesn't
plot is
Batman
silly.
just chop Joker's head off straight away in The Dark Knight and then done? We don't have to worry about it.
Because he's not a killer.
Huh?
It makes sense. That's the whole point of Batman, because his family got killed, so he doesn't want to put any family through getting killed again, so he doesn't kill. That's the whole point of Batman. So he wouldn't kill the Joker.
Well, why doesn't Lieutenant Gordon, Commissioner Gordon,
Because he's a policeman.
kill him?
Still shoot
Oh,
a bad guy.
that stops policemen shooting people in America,
Listen,
doesn't it?
I've already proved right there that it has grounds to make sense. Where this group that is basically not in the eye of the law, right? So they're all secretive, all sit in
Yeah.
a cafe.
Yeah.
So they all sit in a cafe where, for some reason, they all go silent when she walks in the room.
That was very
because they're all
strange.
just waiting there all day, waiting for her to turn up, right? Or waiting for someone to leave the room so they could all stop talking. So it's this secret group, right?
Yes.
That nobody knows about.
Yep.
Yet they feel like they have to like put these 3 people through the stages of going through this mental
And
interrogation.
you would have preferred they did what? Just kill all 3 of them?
But what's the point of it? Why are they doing it when they could just kill
to
them?
test if superheroes are real.
Well, they
They
kn-
know
they
superheroes
knew they
are
were
real.
real. They knew they were real. It was about disproving that they were, so that they could get out of the public eye. Here's the thing. Mr. Glass was back in the public eye in the news, as we saw at the end of Split, which is set 3 weeks before this film. So he was in the public eye. James McAvoy's Beast character was now being spoken about in the news. There were victims who had escaped, who had seen it for themselves. The reality of who these people were was getting out into the world. So it would be better for them, rather than killing James McAvoy and killing Samuel Jackson and killing Bruce Willis, to discount and try and psychoanalyze them to the point where they're just seen as criminally insane, and that's it, so that the victims can be discredited if they go on to say, no, he was this, or he was this, or the boy goes, no, my dad did this. No, actually, we're certified here. You'll see the mental certificate to show his state of mind. He's a lunatic.
But they still got to kill him at the end. That was their plan all along.
Well, it wasn't their plan at the end. That's what ended up having to happen because of the circumstances, right?
No, they were planning to kill him. That's the whole. The group is there to kill superheroes.
Yeah, but they were there to discredit them and make them. I don't think they were there to kill them from the off.
They said at the end they were there to kill them.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they said if they didn't make them believe they weren't superheroes, then they had to kill them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, yeah, because, like I said, it is better for them to discredit all of these three people and have them alive as criminally insane, locked away, right? And that be in the public eye than to kill. You know what it's like, right? When things happen, conspiracy theorists will jump on the fact that terrorists or whatever are killed immediately rather than arrested. Because the minute you kill them, it means they had something or there was some truth to something that you've hidden. Whereas if they're alive and arrested and discredited, then that is more powerful. Because then the victim, the girl who escaped from James McAvoy in Split, her story becomes less powerful when you say this guy was actually mentally unhinged. He is not a beast. There is no beast.
Don't you think they basically made it even worse themselves because they put all their three family members, well, not three family members, but the girl and the two family members through this whole ordeal where they saw them kill them.
Yeah.
And now they're out in the world knowing that this company exists who are there to just kill, or they killed their family members.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't what the company wanted to happen. Bear in mind that this all happened because of the escape that
it sounds
happened.
Like this very secretive and very professional group of people are actually really shit and not very professional.
Well, yeah, maybe that is the case. Maybe in terms of the flunkies and the people who work at the hospital, that is the case. But like, it's a combination of things. It's a combination of Samuel L. Jackson not being sedated and managing to gain access, because he's this mastermind, into James McAvoy's room, which they never anticipated. So it convinced James McAvoy to escape. And then that infuriates Bruce Willis enough to smash down his door and get out, all of which none of them thought would happen. And they had the fail-safes in place. Yes, you're right. They were there ready to kill them, hence having that massive water tank attached to the building as well.
Yes. And also, do you remember that scene where the guy goes into the room and the Beast, one of the Beast, James McAvoy, pretends to be this woman on the floor, and then he like quickly jumps up and jumps on his back?
Yeah, when he was like trying to flirt.
I thought that bit was so weird. You know, when he kept flashing the light, and I was like, "Why do you keep flashing it? Just walk out the room."
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, it was just but
it was just basically a way.
This
is
for the audience.
I know, but I thought they could have done that in a better way. I'm not saying that I hated it. I'm just saying it was a bit
You're
weird.
You're very highly critical for a man who loves superhero films so much, and this happens in nearly every single other superhero film.
We're here to talk about the film, so
Yeah.
I've got to criticise it. Okay, so
I encourage this debate.
I'm not trying to say this is why the film is shit. I'm just basically saying, what was that guy doing? Why needed to walk out of the room?
Because what about if it's morbid curiosity on his part? Like, we've heard this, there's this freak in here, 23 personalities. I'm scared of him, but I want to see him.
But he was more like going, pressing the button.
He wasn't going,
No, but you can see the terror in his face. And I was like,
yeah.
He's just going to walk up to it and the light's going to flash on its own. You'd have to keep pressing it.
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah. But that was just a little thing that I thought was just funny in the film.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit weird. I thought also the CGI was a bit bad as well.
Well, this is why I don't agree with you. I didn't even realise there was any CGI really in it.
Didn't you see that there was like an obvious cut, you know, at the first scene where he was throwing the table at Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
And it was
there
it was
was
a bit like jaggedy, like ugh. Like,
but Shyamalan isn't working with a big fucking budget like all the other superhero films are.
I know, but it just kind of, I didn't really like it that much.
I always think this film would have been brilliant, like, honestly, at the beginning of an X-Men film. If this film was the beginning of all the X-Men trilogy, you put it at the beginning, these guys happen, there's these three normal people, mutants, whatever you want to call them, bam, they all die, but their video gets out, and then it encourages all the other X-Men, whatever, to come out from beyond where they're hiding, and then that's how the X-Men are created.
This is one of the things...
Dying. That would have been good.
That's what I enjoyed the most about the film was the ending, because and there won't be any other films. Shyamalan said it, and I'm glad that there won't be. But when they're all dying, when you realise all three characters are dying, and Samuel L. Jackson's character says, "This isn't a limited edition. This is an origin story." That's powerful, man, because we're never going to see it. It's not about what comes after. What's important is it's that moment. It's that moment where the world realizes. It's given birth to it for the world. And what is even doubly effective about that is halfway through the film, when Mr. Glass is talking to what's his name, Kevin Crumb. He says to him, "You and him need to go and have a showdown at the towers." And I was like, "Oh man, really? We're going to do this? We're going to do that superhero trope and go to the towers and fight for all to see?" I was like, "Oh man!" But it's like, no, he never wanted that. Like, unless the Marvel films, the X-Men films, those sort of shitty films would have taken to the towers, and we would have seen that big fucking climax. This death right on the doorstep to the hospital. I was so glad when I realised we weren't going to the towers, because I'm like, this is important. That's much more significant and much more powerful to see all those three characters dying, what that death represents, because it doesn't just represent, oh, good and bad fought and everyone died. It was about the fact that this other entity, like this fucking oppressive company, were trying to kill truth. It was truth. That's what it was. Whether they were good or evil, bad or whatever they were, that was a truth that deserved to get out. And they all died because of it. And Mr. Glass is such an even more fascinating character than he was at the end of Unbreakable now, because it's gone from him trying to discover who he was by finding who he wasn't. It's gone to this point of him actually willing to die with everyone else, so that the truth about who he and everyone else was gets out. I fucking loved that ending so much. I thought it was so good. Probably one of the best endings I've seen in many years to a film. And that, it took me time to think that, though. I didn't think it immediately, but over time, it's gotten even better.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate what they were going for. It was a good message. It was brave to kill everyone off, because no one expects that nowadays. No one expects all the main characters to get killed off in a film.
No, loved it.
Which is like, oh yeah, it's like, it's different, you know.
And it happened for a reason as well, which is great. It wasn't just, let's just kill them. It's like they all died for a reason, something important. Great.
Even if it was by a pothole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, you're frustrated by it. Well, someone on Twitter, who was it? Oh, it's the Contrarians actually said that thing like, is there anything deadlier than a puddle of water?
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird that's how he died, but that, you know, the water tank had exploded. They got a puddle. What are they going to do?
Do you know one thing that Bruce Willis should have done to overcome his water thing?
Get a scuba tank.
Just learn how to swim.
Do you know what? I've got to admit, because I didn't watch Unbreakable right again before, so I'd forgotten about his thing with water.
Yeah. But he was like, he never tries to swim, he just flails about and falls in.
Right.
But I guess it could be like kryptonite, where it literally like...
Well, his bones are so dense that he can't swim because they're so strong. How about that?
Look at him bringing the science in.
That's it.
But yeah, let me just say about the ending quickly, because it was one it.
It's not the Paul podcast.
So yeah, I appreciate it. I just didn't really like the execution of it, right? Because it was so, there was this big twist, double twist at the end, where Mr. Glass has actually been planning this all along to film them fighting outside the hospital. Somehow he knew that this was going to happen and not at the building, right?
Because he set it up.
And he was going to release all this footage. Well, they said stream it, but he didn't stream it. He actually just filmed it and sent it somewhere.
Oh, sorry, Mr. IT.
But I thought it was quite flawed, because if I was watching it online, just like I said just now, that was bad CGI. I'll be like, this can be done in any film nowadays. I'm not going to believe this is superheroes.
Mate, if on YouTube and the news stations, you saw multiple videos from different angles being leaked onto news of a man chucking another man into a van in central London and everything else that we saw,
running like a beast,
you might at first go onto Twitter or Facebook or something and be like, where did this originate from? Was this a joke? And then over time you realise, no, it's not a fucking joke. It's quite obviously actually happened.
I
The
just feel
news
that-
team would be there straight away.
Yeah, they would, but they weren't.
You fuck.
But I'm basically saying
there's a wider problem here, mate. Right?
No.
Can't accept this is the
Let me
best
just say this.
superhero
No,
film.
let me say this. There's a wider problem, and this is fair. This is not a criticism of you. It's just how we all view movies. The kind of things that you're picking apart in this film, right? If you took the best film you've ever seen, if you went into it more, you could pick things apart and say, yeah, but that didn't make sense. That
Jurassic
I would have
Park,
done
Jurassic
this.
World.
Yeah, exactly. But not even that. Just
That could have all been
better
fake. It could all be
films.
done on the computer.
And we
But-
did pick all that. We picked all that part.
Yeah.
The
But
bit about
listen. My point is not that you shouldn't do it. My point is, if the film is making you focus on those things, then the film hasn't done its job for you anyway. So the film has failed for you. And that's fair, because for me, maybe if I started looking at things like that, I might go, oh, this. But the beauty of film is, if it's good enough for you, you lose yourself in it. You immerse yourself in, and you go with it, and you don't focus on those things. Look, Scarface, right? I could be going, hang on a minute, how did he constantly fire that machine gun and not have to reload more and more and more than he did? How did he when
And he
everyone was
smoked so much
shooting
cocaine and not die?
Yeah, and how did he keep standing when he was shot for a minute? Could be all the cocaine, but nobody stands for 60 seconds after being shot. Yeah. How's octopus come out of his ears?
How does he eat it 4 times a day and not get sick of it?
But I take your point on that stuff, but it's not working for you, and that's the thing. It didn't weave its magic for you.
Exactly, yeah. But for me, that whole plot line of this secret group, it just didn't sit well with me. Straight away, I was just like, no, this isn't working. And then it made me look at the film more even deeper, and see all these other bits that really didn't make sense to me. You know?
Yes. Okay, that's fine. Adam, would you like to say something that you liked? Because I think you've only said things you disliked.
I just enjoyed the movie as a whole. Like you said, there might be things you picked up on, but you did lose yourself in the film and you ignored them, and I enjoyed my time at the cinema watching it.
I got some good stuff about it.
Hang on, I got some fucking... I ain't said the good stuff either.
He's the one who gave it a 9. You piped down your 6.
The addition of the inclusion of Bruce Willis's son and Samuel L. Jackson's mother.
That was one of my points. That's one I liked.
Okay, good. And James McAvoy's victims. I liked it because it humanised all of the people, all of the villains or whatever you want to call them. It humanised them and it meant they had an emotional connection to the real world, whatever they were.
Because they were never really villains and they were never really heroes. It just depended how you looked at them.
Yes. This is the beauty of it, isn't it? Because, he is a villain. Mr. Glass
and
is a fucking villain.
at the end of
He's
it, you wanted them all
terrorist,
to survive, didn't you? You wanted every one of them to live.
Yeah,
you well, to die.
I mean, I wouldn't want Samuel L. Jackson alive blowing up more trains.
Yeah, but he's done his train blowing up because he knows that he's got his people.
He got a few more train blowing up in his future. Yeah, but I liked that, and I liked the twist about James McAvoy's dad having been on that train as well.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a really nice addition. It all added more colour to it all. It made it even grander than what it was originally.
Because I knew the connection of Split.
Yeah.
They mentioned that his dad went off on the train and never came back. So I kind of made that connection already.
Never made that connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry that you were so excellent at knowing plot
I'm
twists.
so sorry about that.
Isn't it?
Emily is very disappointed in you. You know Samuel L. Jackson is pretty much the same age as the actress who played his
5 years older, yes.
Is he 5 years older than her?
Only 5 years.
When this film started, all the key elements were lining up, right? So one thing I loved was the soundtrack. I thought it was brilliant. That creepy
Yeah.
all that was brilliant, and
I didn't
that
notice
is
that.
that
I didn't remember it that much.
didn't
I remember
you
the
didn't
credit
notice that?
music, but not the rest. Credit music.
I
was good.
love that, and the way they did the glass as well, the title right at the beginning. I like that, and and then as I saw his son,
too busy eating my popcorn, they're making too much noise.
Yeah, you noisy.
as I saw his son, I was like, oh yes, they brought him into it as well. I was wondering if they were going to do this, and that was good. And even Mr. Glass's mum, that was brilliant. And did you also notice?
Mr. Glass's mum's makeup was terrible for aging her though. Really
Yeah.
bad. Really bad.
It was already bad in the original one, in the Unbreakable.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. That's maybe why it's not a 10.
Yeah. because they already tried to age her up in Unbreakable at the end of the film where they showed her older. So now they had to age her up double.
Yeah, I know.
But
it wasn't good.
But another little key element that because I watched Unbreakable before I went to see Glass, it was fresh in my mind. But you know the comic book guy that the Beast victim went to see.
Yeah,
and she was telling that's the same. It's the same comic book guy. Yeah,
it almost seemed to me the exact same line because he says that thing about what you're doing in the back.
Yeah.
Or he says to Samuel Jackson's character in Unbreakable, "You better not be jacking off back there" or something, isn't it? When he's wheeling himself into the racks.
What did you think of all the references to the modern day stuff, Ben?
What do you mean?
Like all Salt Bay.
It went over my head anyway. I'm sure it did. And someone did say that. Who said that?
And he's like, Drake's my boy. Bruce Willis's son.
Yeah, I know that. See that was annoying, but like you just accept it as a character. You're not meant to like all the characters that he was playing anyway, so it's fine. But actually, here's the thing: it's still 9 out of 10 film, but Shyamalan does not write good dialogue. He's not a good dialogue writer. He writes very clunky
That's what
dialogue.
I'm saying about that Sarah Paulson as a character. It was. You've got that actress, you could do more with her.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily her. It was the lines that he wrote for the James McAvoy annoying characters. Like, he just wrote, I don't know, it was just clumsy stuff. It's like bringing up Salt Bay and Drake. It's like, let's put a bunch of current things into a hat and I'll just pull something random out and you'll talk about that. Like, stir, what should we do? Oh, let's do the Vine girl who did that. Oh, I've forgotten what the tagline
I'm in my
is.
mum's car.
Yeah, imagine James McAvoy said that. That'd have been so good if he'd said that. 10 out of 10. If he'd said that.
Or the Chewbacca woman.
Oh no, I don't know what that is. Stop talking about
that was one more thing. Probably relating back to his dialogue as well. I didn't really appreciate. I liked little hints of it, but the whole referencing comic books and saying, "Oh, this is this part now. This is this part," and like the mum even got involved. My son said it was.
Yeah, but
it was quite good and it was quite bad at the same time.
Yeah, a little bit clunky, but at the same time, he's a comic book lover, and don't forget that mother would have had to have been so immersed in her son's love of comic books because that was kind of all he had.
Yeah. And I appreciate it because I like Mr. Glass saying it, but sometimes it's just too much. Like the whole line at the end where this is an origin story.
It was too explaining of it.
Yeah, but then like he's like, oh, and here's all the supporting characters coming now. And all stuff like that, I was a bit like, no, I don't need to say
I was half expecting them to do a fucking after-scenes credit as well, just to go for the full superhero.
I'm glad they did.
Yeah,
because this isn't your typical superhero movie. This is a million times better and more interesting than any Marvel film I've ever seen. On an interest level, I thought this is more interesting and there's more to unpick than Black Panther, which is my favourite Marvel film, of course.
Yeah. Because it's a different type again.
I probably agree with you. Yeah, even though if
this film was going to fall into one of the universes of Marvel or DC, it would clearly fall into the DC universe. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost a bridge between the two.
But I mean, like this trilogy of films is lovely. I really like it, and it sits real nicely. If I had that box set, I could imagine rewatching Unbreakable and rewatching Glass. I wouldn't say that I would rewatch Split because once you've seen it, I think. I don't think Split offers up anything additional, and that's kind of the shame. I think if there's the big thing that stops this from being a 10 for me is because Split was so recent. It clearly they're trying to capitalise a little bit on that success, and I reckon a lot of people went to see this film having never seen Unbreakable, just seeing Split and thinking, this is the Split sequel.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Adam, you didn't know what it was, did you?
No, I did know it was. I just never seen Unbreakable before I went to see Split, and I only saw it the week before. I knew I had to see Unbreakable to see this film. But then also, do you reckon that the whole timeline of him aging the characters was because he always, when he wrote Unbreakable, he always knew he would then write Split and then do Glass a year or two after?
I don't think he ever knew that he was going to do these.
I think he did. I reckon when you look back at Unbreakable now, it makes so much more sense that he rounded it off with this film.
Can I say, how excited were you? Maybe not you, Adam, because you only saw it 3 weeks ago anyway. But to see Mr. Glass in that purple again.
Yeah.
Like, when he was in that hospital gown, it was like, no, this ain't right, with a blanket over his lap and with that expression on his face. I was like, no. Because he doesn't talk until an hour into it. And when he
Yeah, I
starts
know.
talking, I'm like, oh, baby. It was so good because I thought, oh, they're really going to keep him quiet throughout this whole film. When he started speaking, I'm like, I love this. Keep going, keep going. And then when you see him in the suit and he's got the Mr. Glass, the MG like brooch on his lapel. Oh, man. I love this film, man.
I'm really happy for you.
I don't think it sold itself out. This is the thing. I feel sorry for you, Paul, because I was expecting potentially to feel that way, and because
I know the whole week you were
having
hyping
liked
up
it.
Paul, saying he's going to love it, you think he was going to give you a good review. And
You thought I was going to love it more than Adam.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Adam,
And then
I
that's
thought
why-
Adam was going to just hate it, so that's surprising. Although based on what you've said, sounds like you did.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, go on.
This is very cheeky, but this is I wrote a review for it online somewhere, and my closing line said, "Suffice to say, Glass shattered all expectations, not by scattering ideas and characters all over the place, but by bringing them all together into one fractured but significant whole."
Very well done.
And I believe that's
Right,
why I
poems.
That
Should.
was beautiful.
You're wasted here.
I think
Writing
the
then.
reason I liked it is it just didn't sell itself out. It could have sold itself out. Shyamalan could have gone. He could have gone to the Towers, and if he'd gone to the Towers, I'd have gone. Not for me.
Do you reckon? I quite like the fact that he hasn't got the greatest IMDb rating. I think it's something like a 7 at the moment. That is probably because people just didn't like the film. They expected a different film from it.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
people weren't prepared for it, and it didn't live up to their expectations and do what probably it could have done to get a bigger rating.
Yes.
And fulfilled what everyone wants it to do. But it stuck to its own guns.
The one thing also that is actually kind of it wouldn't happen in the real world. This is only set 3 weeks after Split, and the what's her name, Anya Taylor-Joy, the girl.
The little girl here.
She is far too well adjusted 3 weeks later. After having it felt to me at first like it was 3 years later.
But she didn't have. Yeah, I thought it was a longer time later. But then again, but she said a few ways she reacts about her experience. She didn't talk bad of it. She enjoyed it. Well, almost Stockholm syndrome. Like it wasn't a terrible experience for her in the end.
It was very. I feel like there's other things that haven't been spoken about, but there's a lot to unpick there. I did enjoy it.
I reckon it'd been better if it was more like a year. That would have made sense.
I didn't like some of the extra acting, but that I wasn't there for that anyway.
Yeah.
Like all the cheerleader girls who'd been kidnapped, that was a bit silly. Like they just all looked typical blonde cheerleaders. No real.
Every cheerleader.
Yeah,
looks
no
like.
attempt at making it seem like a realistic cheerleader group. It's just let's get a bunch of blondes into cheerleader outfit.
You love that, man, you pervert.
Oh yeah, I love that so much. I always seek out films with blonde cheerleaders.
Oh, that's why you watch all the horror movies.
That's why you would watch the horror movies. I watch the horror movies that rely on deeper and more intense scares.
Well, them getting like their head cuts off instead of like strangled.
Like
know.
Antichrist.
Like Antichrist, yeah. It's like the house that Jack built that you couldn't wait to end.
It went on for a long time.
It did go on for a long time. It did. This went on for quite a long time, actually. The film, didn't it? It went on for longer than I thought
I
it
don't
was
think
going
it felt
to.
that. It didn't feel long though.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
I don't think it dragged.
You know how old Samuel L. Jackson is?
Like 70 something.
He's 70.
Jesus.
He don't
He looks
look
good.
it.
He looks
He
good.
looks like
son.
Moss. He looks like Moss from IT Crowd with the afro. Poor man's
A
Moss.
little bit, yeah. Did you like Shyamalan's little cameo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was really happy when he said about being at the park.
Yeah, a nice
same.
little
He came
reference.
in.
But also, like, there's no way that they would remember each other after all that time. No way.
If you went to but the thing is though, you remember that one encounter. The way he spoke about it was they both worked there for years and he went there for years. So you probably would see the same people over and over again.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Would you like to, like we did last episode, would you like to all say, why are you
The
clapping?
one-word summary?
Who's clapping?
Adam,
I'm
of
banging my hands
course.
together.
Would you all like to say one word to describe this film and see if it works? I don't know what I'm going to say.
See, one word to describe. So do we want to say one word to describe this film each and see if, with all the words put together, it
Yeah,
makes
it
for
makes
a
a
good
thing.
description?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
go on.
Okay, yes.
Different.
Fractured.
Thought-provoking. A fractured, thought-provoking, different take on the superhero film. And I think that's
Yeah.
totally true.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
I guess fractured could be taken in many different connotations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why you said it. You wanted to look clever, didn't you?
To me, it means broken.
You thought you've been sitting on that all week.
Well, that was lovely.
It was.
We had a good discussion. Oh, he's so loud, isn't he?
I know.
Okay, so we go on to letters. We've got some things that people have said about the film and other things as well.
These three males just received emails.
Well, what are we supposed to do about it?
Fucking read them.
So the first one's from Jacob, and it relates back to Glass, and it says, "What are your best and worst multi-character performances within a single film?"
Can I go first? Because I haven't got many, and I know you'll probably say them if I say them, and I've only got two.
Yeah.
Only ones I can think of that were good is Christian Bale in The Prestige.
Well done. That's my one.
That's why I knew you said that. And the other one isn't even a film; it's a TV series. I'm going to say Fargo with what's his name, Ewan McGregor, which I quite enjoyed.
Oh,
And
yeah,
by the end
forgot
of it, I
about
almost forgot that he played two characters because they were different characters. But I know
Yes,
you're going to add
the
more,
two
and I just
twins.
thought I'd get mine in before you stole all mine.
Well, basically, you just stole mine, and that was it.
Good.
Is that all you both had?
Yeah, I have The Prestige as my best, and then I have Jack and Jill as the worst.
Yeah. I don't have one for worse, and actually, I'm doing what the question actually asked, which is, what was the question?
The best and worst multi-character performances within a single film.
What about Mike Myers films?
Well, I take it as being like I took it as how James McAvoy did it. One actor playing different not playing different characters, but different personalities in one body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll take it there.
That makes
Mine is
sense as
Ed
well.
Norton in Primal Fear, which is very brilliant. And if you've
Yeah.
never seen it,
Yeah, I've seen it.
Adam, if you've never seen it,
I haven't
watch
seen
it,
it, no.
because it is worth. And even if you don't think it's worth it while you're watching it,
I like him.
keep watching it. That's a very
Okay.
good one.
The other one that was mentioned when that question was asked to me and my friends was Norbit, because Jack loves Norbit.
God, look at the level of film you guys talk about. I'm mentioning Primal Fear, and you're talking about fucking Jack and Jill and Norbit.
What about
I'm
Mike
saying
Myers
worst.
and Austin Powers?
I'm saying Jack and Jill's the worst. I'm not saying I like Jack and Jill.
You love the Jack
Yeah, I'm not
and
saying
Jill.
I like it. I'm just.
I haven't even
it's
seen it.
honourable
I
mention.
refuse to watch
It's mentioned
it.
by other people.
Yes, let's not just reel off every comedy where someone dresses up as a woman and an old man and a child and all that.
What about Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins?
Who cares about it?
Let's go on to the next letter. So the next letter is from the Contrarians, who you mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Alex and Julio.
Yes. And the first thing they said was, why? So I'm guessing they're sympathising with me in this
They didn't
argument.
like it.
Yeah. They also said, how do you get a talented actress like Sarah Paulson to be so wooden and void of charisma?
Hey,
Yes.
that's what I was basically saying.
Yeah.
Good on Alex and Julio.
And now
I
they're
knew
an
I always
Adam,
liked you.
they're an Adam sympathiser. So let's see
Yeah.
if they're a Ben sympathiser now. How many things are deadlier than a puddle of water?
How many things are deadlier than a puddle of water? Yeah.
A bucket of Cheerios.
And a ladle of chicken stock.
What about a puddle of water with a plug in it? That's electrical.
That's accurate as hell.
How about a wok full of burning vegetable oil?
What about if your brother has a wok and he swings it at your head and it comes off?
Yes, that happened.
It did happen. It put you in hospital with stitches.
Yes. Not stitches, it was only glued.
Popped it in the wok.
I got
Well
hit
done,
in the
Alex
head
and Julio.
with a wok.
But
Yeah,
you know,
that's good question.
The contrarians, they're just lying, because their whole style is to pretend that they don't enjoy something, and then at the end they do the real talk, and it's like, actually we enjoyed it. So actually they enjoyed it. So actually they agree with me. So thanks. Next.
Julio.
Our last one is from Pop Cult Pod, and they said, Mr. Glass completely lost me in the last act, really fumbled at the end and felt disjointed. Made me think less of the film as a whole. James McAvoy and Sam Jackson was great, but Bruce Willis seemed to have been sedated.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah, I
I've heard
know.
him referred to as Sam Jackson
No.
before.
It's no good.
Not enough
No
words
good,
in those tweets, you know?
Yeah.
Not enough letters, I mean.
Letters. Yes, it's true. Bruce Willis seemed to have been sedated, so agreeing with you.
Again, these people, they're in my head.
But it's because, yeah, I know, clearly all the Twitter community actually agree with Adam more than you and I, Paul.
No, they're basically because I don't talk to them too tough. They want my approval.
Yeah, Adam doesn't tweet, but he just slides into their DMs constantly and
Yeah.
says, make sure you ask this.
But I think the thing that seems to be going, like the trend in all these, is that they all didn't like it, so I win.
Well, actually,
I don't think it's a competition.
Well, no, it's a competition, and you win.
We should do this from now on.
Yes.
We do a review, and whoever agrees with it most wins.
Yeah.
We should do a little vote on our Twitter page. Who agrees with A, B, or C?
You
in
know
the
the
reviews
you know
of
the
film.
truth is that the real winner is the one who goes against the grain. If people love it and you hate it, you're the winner. If people hate it and you love it, you're the winner. If you love it and people love it, you're all losers, and vice versa. True.
Right, guys, if you want to get in touch with us and send us any letters, you can get in touch with us at FilmBustersPod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also email us at filmbusters@outlook.com, or get in touch with us each personally on our Twitter accounts. I'm at FilmBustersPaul.
I'm at FilmBusters Ben.
And I'm at FilmBusters Adam.
Look at that! I burped at the end of the podcast, and someone else
just-
burped at the beginning, so I brought it full circle.
I don't know how to burp.
That's
Never burped.
right.
Never
That
burped in
is
my life.
true. You've said that before. Weird.
Yeah.
You trap a bit of air and then
That's
you burp
weird,
it out.
isn't it?
Did you say you chug a bit of air?
Yep.
Beer.
And then you go.
Did you say air or beer?
See, chugged a bit of air. You can also do a beer because it's all gassy.
You're both very unwell.
FilmBusters.